What's going on, everybody? Tom here, Tom Coffee Fitness, bringing you another episode of Fitness in Your Car. If you're not familiar with this, it is a fitness tip I give while driving in my car. So today I want to talk about healthy eating, what it is, sort of my working definition of it, and then an analogy I've been thinking about the last few days to help describe it. So first of all, what is healthy eating? It's, in my opinion, healthy eating is a two-part answer, but you only often hear about the first part. The first part is a conscious effort to eat more minimally processed foods. You know, foods like vegetables, fruits, meats, seafood, plant-based food, which would be vegetables, but basically anything that doesn't have a lot of, doesn't have to spend a lot of time in a factory to make. It's not found in a box, and again, minimally processed. So that's sort of like the accepted definition of healthy eating, but I think that misses a big part of actually eating is enjoyment. So the second part for me, and that I talk about with my clients of healthy eating, it's good to eat more minimally processed foods. There's no arguing that. They're more nutrient dense, they have more vitamins and minerals, so it's just better for you than eating very processed foods. You can't argue that. But what I will argue is that people get neurotic and obsessive about trying to eat like the perfect way, the most healthy, because XYZ guru said to eat just these foods. No, you have to figure out a balance that works for your everyday life. Everyone has different schedules, different budgets, different palates. People do better, some people do better on high fat, low carb, some people do better on high carb, low fat, some people do better in the middle. So healthy eating, the second part for me is figure out a way that makes sense to you, that creates some enjoyment, is also more on the health. So you have to figure out where you fall on that spectrum of extreme health and not enjoyable versus extreme enjoyable but not healthy. So there's a wide range in between those two extremes that healthy eating needs to fall under. And the goal with healthy eating is not to be a short-term fix. It's to be a long-term like lifestyle change. So at some point you're gonna have to figure out where you'll sacrifice the enjoyment for health, for the health benefits of food, and vice versa. And it's not stuck, it's not a static time. That will change over time, and that can change, you know, as your palate develops to be more distasteful to sweet foods or just foods in general that you do not like. So I know I was kind of rambling for a second. Just to recap, healthy eating, two-part working definition that I like. The first part is the one that you'll hear. Eat minimally processed foods, eat more minimally processed foods, and I have no argument with that. That's definitely a good thing. The second part, which you don't really hear, and I don't know why, is that you need to find some balance between health and enjoyment for long-term adherence, or else you're just gonna be miserable, hate your life. You could eat the most healthy diet in the world, but if it's super strict and feels like it's suffocating and overly restrictive, how long are you actually gonna stick with it? Then, if you become obsessive and neurotic about your food, is it even really that healthy anyway? Like, are those behaviors healthy? I'll let you think about that for a second. So that's sort of my definition, working definition of healthy eating, two parts. And then the analogy I've been thinking of over the last few days, I'm gonna try it out, see if it makes sense here. You guys can let me know in the comments, giving me a thumbs up or thumbs down. But I'm thinking healthy eating is very much like filming a movie. And what I mean by that is when actors or actresses are on set filming a movie, they get multiple takes at the same scene, right? It's very rare that they'll nail the lines on the script first time, take one in the books. Like, that rarely, if ever, happens. And that's the same way with eating. Like, you're very rarely ever gonna just have the perfect meal like right out the chute. No, you're gonna need multiple iterations. You're gonna need multiple retakes. The same way an actor or actress needs multiple takes to nail the scene perfectly, get their lines perfect, right? That doesn't happen on take one. And the same way with diet and eating, like healthy eating. You're not gonna have the perfect healthy eating habits on day one or week one or maybe even year one of trying. But what you can do, like actors, is refine, right? Use every meal as a little mini iteration to get better and be like, okay, I kind of let myself slide here because I didn't prep enough food for the day and I got hungry and just went to Taco Bell. Then you know for next time, maybe it's better to plan ahead a little bit, prep some food, but what I'm getting at is you need multiple iterations. You need a lot of repetitions of just healthy eating, thinking about it, getting it in sort of to become a part of your habit loop. And that's not gonna happen day one, week one. So think of yourself, every time you sit down to eat or eat food, think of it like this. It's a very, very mini scene in the overall movie that is your life. And you get, just like actors and actresses get multiple takes and retakes at their scenes and scripts, you get multiple tries and retries to make better, healthy choices. You don't have to be perfect every meal. I would advise against that actually, but you can always try to get a little bit better than you were the meal before, the week before, the month before, the year before, and over time, that constant thinking about it and refinement is what's gonna make you just allow you to eat much more healthy in the long run without actually having to plan and think about it and waste a lot of time mulling over it. So that's sort of my, we're coming up on 7 minutes now. I want to wrap this up, but it's sort of my little spiel on healthy eating. So just global recap: 1, eat minimally processed foods, eat more of those, can't argue that. 2, second part of healthy eating, make sure that you blend enjoyment and health so you don't become obsessive over your food, which those behaviors are not healthy in of themselves. So it's kind of it's kind of a moot point then. And then think of each meal as a mini script, a mini scene in your overall movie of life. And you get multiple retakes, you get multiple retries to make better health choices. So if you think about it like that, don't get too hung up over any one particular meal. Be quick to move on, refine what you think you didn't do well before, and then just learn from that and grow from that. So I appreciate your time. Looking forward to talking to you guys on the next episode of Fitness in Your Car. Again, I'm Tom with Tom Coffee Fitness. Have a great day.